So welcome back. My name is Paul, and as a lot of people know, I've got a lot of videos, and one of my favorite subjects is 2012. And basically, I keep telling my audience that, in my opinion, the 2012 is not just a day on a calendar and some astronomical event, but basically looking at the obvious things that are around us, no doubt in our mind that even recent history, in my lifetime, my parents' lifetime, we're going through an absolutely stunning process. A lot of it is technical. There's more travel and so on. Now, regardless of whether there's Nostradamus or Mayans or whatever and some prophecy about this or that and the other thing, all you have to do is kind of look at the news, look around you, kind of see what's going on. And in that spirit, I put out a number of little videos explaining my 2 cents about it. Now, in a previous video, I started a series in which I'm talking about things that are really basically should be in your face obvious. I mean, things that, we as human beings going by our life, if we just stop for a minute, maybe like take a few breaths or half an hour in our life, and you see some things are really obvious. And, if you look at some of the real basic things about our recent history, that, we've only been on this planet like maybe 40, 50 years, so many of us, and there's been tremendous amount of change even in that time. So what is going on? There's something really dramatic, and a lot of it had to do with around the end of the World Wars. There was a big conflict not too long ago. It was only 70 years ago or so, and then there was another one before that. And it was like incredible. There was stuff going on, and some of the problems that are happening in our current political situation today are all results of that period, 70 years ago. But then that came from a long time before that. Now, one of the things that we hear about all the time, and it's not a real secret, but if you stop and think about it, the significance of it is pretty stunning. Now, underground bases. Now, stop and think for a minute. Since the World Wars, they've been digging underground bases, and they know by archaeological research that there have been underground chambers dug, and people lived in them for a long time out in Turkey, and caves, and I mean, just goes back for a long time. Now, currently, we know for sure, okay, there are underground bases, and most of them are secret. Underground buildings, you might say. Things underground, whatever they're doing down there. Now, the question is, well, if there are those things, and they keep building more, and they have the machines, they have the capability of doing it, there's all kinds of things. What's going on down there? Billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars are spent. What's going on? Oh, well, you're not supposed to know. Well, if a friend comes to me and says, sir, you have an enemy, and I will protect you from the enemy, but just give me a lot of money, and don't ask me what I do with the money, but don't worry about it. I'm going to protect you from your enemy. I say, well, what are you going to do with that money? And, theoretically, the citizens of our country would say, okay, well, I guess you're trying to protect us or whatever, and you need this money, and you want to build these underground bases, but, explain to me, what exactly you're doing, because how do I know what you're doing down there with all that money that we're giving you, Now, again, that relates to secret technology. Do you think there's secret technology? There's secret in every war. There is secret technology, and if there's a war now going on forever and ever and ever against so-called terror, it's basically a war against fear, okay? Someone's making you afraid, and we're going to protect you against that fear. But we want to do it in total secrecy. We want to monopolize all the technology, and we don't want you to be able to defend yourself. We'll do it. Don't worry about it. Give us the money. So again, secret deals. Are there secret things going on? Do you think corporations? Do you think governments? Do you think nasty people, good people, even all kinds of people make secret deals? Okay, well, I'm going to do this, and you do this. I mean, you think that happens? Of course it happens. These are things that are basically, stop and think about. Look, okay, now, let's see here. Underground bases, secret technology, secret money. where do I fit in that picture? What about me? And that's what a lot of people need to ask. Now, again, controlling education and dumbing down. Do you think there's some people, you don't need to think about a conspiracy, but let's say, for example, for whatever reason, we want the parents in many generation, they go look down their kids and say, Sonny boy, we want you to know these things, but we do not want you to know these other things. Now, governments often play a role of like, okay, well, there's people, it's good for you. We're doing this for your own good. Okay, now, we have to do this. And you don't need to know all the details of why we need to do this, but, so it's basically just saying don't let people know. And what is the things that we have power in, all of us, is getting an education, just waking up, being conscious. Now, I'm a student of aviation, and I've learned a lot from aviation about personal life and about all kinds of things, business and so on. And it's very specific. If an aircraft starts to stall, it may be a 777 at 35,000 feet, and let's say the engines go one, then the engine goes two, and okay, well, for a long time, it's going to be a nice, quiet ride because the pilot can just coast for a long time. But eventually, there's going to be a sudden and really big thunk, and that'll be it. And, our culture is top-heavy. It doesn't take a really genius to figure this out. You start thinking about, okay, what is wrong? There's some huge imbalance because there's all kinds of money being spent and all kinds of fear and all kinds of secrecy and all kinds of stuff going on and all kinds of systems that have to be maintained and all kinds of stuff. And it's just, at what point you say, look, this cannot happen anymore because the laws of physics catch up. It's like putting on a plane, say, okay, look, we want this on the plane, we want that on the plane, oh, let's take this on the plane. Next thing you know, there's a limit to how much can be on an airplane before it just falls right out of the sky, no matter how fast it's going, given its engine size, and so on. So, I think that people really should take advantage of just the internet and learning and finding out from people, look, what is going on here? Don't go shopping at the mall saying, hey, there's a saying about how the God envied the devil why he got so many customers, and then he sent his angel over there and say, tell me, what he does over there. And so Peter goes over there and says, okay, well, hey, God wants to know, how come he got so many customers? And the devil said, well, hey, you know what? I'll just tell him he got more time. Say, hey, don't worry about it. It's okay. You don't need to do anything right now. Don't worry about it. Now, the thing is, look, one day our life is going to end, so we have to get with the program and wake up and just say, hey, look, I got to do something and see what's going on around me in my life. So thanks for listening, and I'm going to make another video about a lot of the positive things that we have going for us. So thanks. First read flaps. Okay, now let's see. Here we come.